Night School, 2018. Atlanta, Georgia, 2001. Teddy Walker, Kevin Hart, is studying for the SATs but is having a difficult time concentrating. He goes down to dinner with his parents Gerald, Keith David, and Carol, Donna Briscoe, and twin sister Denise, Brescia Webb, where he complains about having to take the test. Only his mother has any sympathy for him, while his father and sister think Teddy is just making excuses. The next day, Teddy goes to school for the test, but after barely a minute of sitting down, he declares that he is not taking the test and that he is done with school for good. In the present day, Teddy is a moderately successful barbecue salesman who is dating Lisa, Megalyn Echikunwoke. His boss Joe, Tim Ware, tells Teddy that when he retires, he plans to leave the store to Teddy, who is ecstatic to hear the news. Teddy later joins his buddy Marvin, Ben Schwartz, along with Lisa and her friend Maya, Yvonne Orji, to a dinner. Teddy feels insecure about Lisa always paying for everything, so he offers to pay for the meal himself until he sees that the bill is over $800. He reaches into his pants and pulls out some pubes to put in his dessert so that he can accuse the staff of tampering with the food and not have to pay. The waiter, Luis Al Madrigal, knows that Teddy planted them, so they argue until the head chef comes by and believes Teddy's side of the story, leading to Luis getting fired and the meal being free. Teddy drives Lisa to the BBQ store, where he has set up a proposal for her. She accepts, and Teddy pops some champagne. The cork hits a propane tank, which starts to leak gas into the store. Lisa smells it, so Teddy tries to take care of it. After turning off the grills, he tries to plug in a fan to get rid of the smell, but the spark ignites the gas and causes a huge explosion that wrecks the store and sends Teddy flying onto the windshield of his car. Teddy visits Marvin to ask for a job since Joe took the insurance money and fled to Florida, and there's not a hot market for grill salespeople with no GED. Marvin says that they can hire Teddy at his firm, but he needs the GED. Teddy impulsively tells Lisa that he will be working with Marvin, even though it's not a done deal. Teddy drives to his old high school, Piedmont. On the road, he runs into a woman, Carrie Carter, Tiffany Haddish, who is talking loudly to her mother over some bizarre sex thing with her priest. The two argue until the light turns green. At the school, Teddy is dismayed to find that the principal is Stuart Pataski, Taran Killam, a dorky kid from his time at school that bugged Teddy, but Teddy also made fun of Stuart for having a third nipple. Stuart relishes the opportunity to deny Teddy a chance to get his GED by saying that they don't offer night school classes, but Teddy learns that this is not the case when he finds that Carrie works there and she is the night school teacher. After a bit of hassling, Teddy decides to enroll for the night classes. Teddy starts the night school classes and tries to schmooze his way to a passing grade by bringing Carrie tacos. The other students show up and she gives them the tacos to show that she can't be bought. The others introduce themselves: Luis, who remembers Teddy and has to get his GED since he got fired and wants to be a dental hygienist; Teresa, Marilyn Rajskub, a mother of 3 who dropped out of high school and wants a reason to leave the house; Jalen, Romany Malco, a man who is paranoid of a robot apocalypse; Mila, Ann Winters, a girl who got kicked out of her school for having Molly and is getting her GED to avoid jail time; Mackenzie, aka Big Mac, Rob Riggle, who is trying to get his GED to stop his own son from making the same mistake he did in his youth; and Bobby, Fat Joe, an inmate who is attending the class through Skype. Marvin finds Teddy a temporary job that doesn't require a GED, wearing a chicken suit for a religious fried chicken restaurant called Christian Chicken. Although Teddy finds it humiliating and degrading, he has no choice but to accept the job. He also finds that he has to sneak around to avoid telling Lisa about his issue, and she thinks it's just him getting cold feet. Carrie teaches the class about the Pythagorean theorem, but they are interrupted when someone tries to shank Bobby in the library. He then beats down his potential attackers before they are dragged out of there by guards. Moments later, Stuart comes in to check on the class and is not happy that Teddy enrolled after all. He sits down as Carrie makes Teddy go up to the board to solve the problem. He has a difficult time solving it until Carrie lets him off with a hint, but she promises that's the only time it'll ever happen. Desperate, Teddy convinces the other students to help steal the answers to the GED test. The others agree to it, and they sneak into the school that night. Mac chokes out a janitor to avoid witnesses, even though nobody told him to do that. They then go into Stuart's office, where Mila tries to hack into his computer and get the answers. Stuart starts walking toward his office, so Teresa tries to distract him by flirting with him. She's really bad at it, and Stuart brushes her off out of integrity, but he quietly admits he would have went for it. He then goes to his computer while the others are hiding. Teddy sees that Stuart is going on his Facebook to look at Lisa's profile and add her as a friend. Mac nearly blows their cover when he sneezes, but Stuart is pulled out by the janitor's screams. The group tries to get out, but Stuart places the school on lockdown, which forces them to retreat to the rooftops. They realize they have to jump over to the next roof, which only Mila is able to do. Mac attempts it, but he falls hard and messes up his arm. And then Jalen pukes on him. Carrie later finds out that the answers were taken, and she plans to dismiss all the students. When Teddy hears their protests and sees that they need to be there, he takes the fall for them, and Carrie kicks him out. He later sees her personally to ask for a second chance. She reluctantly agrees to it and runs some tests on Teddy to determine his problem with learning. She later tells Teddy that he has multiple learning disabilities like dyslexia and dyscalculia. Carrie puts Teddy through some serious learning exercises to ensure that he is ready and able to focus. Teddy is also able to form legitimate friendships with his classmates. On the final night of classes, Carrie decides to pop open some champagne to celebrate. They hear music from the prom going on, and since none of them went during their time at school, they decide to go. They all dance and have a good time. Teddy and Carrie share a friendly dance, which is interrupted when Lisa shows up, as Stuart had invited her and Maya to come check out the school and potentially help with renovations. Teddy is forced to explain himself and reveal that he's been going to night school. Lisa is hurt that he couldn't be honest with her because he felt that he needed to impress her. She gives him his ring back and tells him not to go back to their apartment, so Teddy must return to his parents' home. Teddy decides to give up on the GED since he did it for Lisa, and without her, he sees no point to it. He is visited by Stuart and Carrie at his job, where Stuart apologizes for humiliating him and admits that he wanted to get back at him because Teddy was better than him in high school. Carrie also forces Teddy to not give up and demands that he takes the test. Teddy shows up on the day of the test. He does his hardest to focus. Later, the students are gathered around for their test results. Everyone passes except Teddy. Although disappointed, he tries a few more times and still fails until he finally gets a 178, which is more than enough to qualify for a passing grade. Everyone at Christian Chicken cheers for Teddy. The night school class graduates with the main students of the school, even Bobby, although he's there in cuffs. Teddy is picked to give a speech to everyone, just as Lisa shows up. After the ceremony, Teddy apologizes to Lisa and asks to start over. She accepts. The class then gathers to take a picture together. The last we see is a brief clip of Stuart busting some dance moves at prom.